Okay. So have you ever like gotten totally stuck in red tape?
Hmm.
Like lost in just a bureaucratic nightmare.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like you're just a cog in the machine, right? Another number.
Yeah.
And in those moments, haven't you just wanted to like escape?
Ugh.
To just like disappear into a totally different reality?
Yeah, I think everyone has those moments.
Well, today, we're going to be diving deep into a film that really explores those feelings, but in just a totally unforgettable way.
Okay, which one?
Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
Brazil. Oh, I love that
Oh,
film.
this is so good, right?
It's not just like your average dystopian movie.
Right.
I mean, it's a cult classic for a reason.
It really is.
This film, it came out way back in 1985.
It did. A long
That
time
it,
ago.
but it still hits home today with this really cool blend of dark humor and social commentary, and the visuals are just incredible.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say that.
They're amazing.
It's like a feast for the eyes, even if the world that it's showing us is like super bleak.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But beneath those like stunning visuals, there's just so much to like unpack and think about.
So much.
And today, we'll explore those powerful themes like the alienation that we all kind of feel, like a dehumanizing system, the dangers of escapism, the nature of bureaucracy, and how consumerism and technology are used as like tools of control.
Those are some really heady themes.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited to dive into those. We should also take a look at the film's visual style.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That blend of retro and futuristic elements, which Gilliam called retrofuturism.
It's such a cool concept.
Oh, and we can't forget the music, especially how they use the song, what's it called? Aquarela do Brazil.
Yeah,
That adds like another layer of meaning to the film's title, you know?
totally. I'm so glad you brought that up because I really wanted to talk about that.
Oh, good.
And to like really get into the like nitty-gritty, we'll be dissecting that, infamous ending.
You mean the one?
The one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The one that leaves you like thinking long after the credits have rolled, right?
I'm still thinking about it.
Me too.
To this day.
All right, so buckle up because we're about to take you on a journey through Terry Gilliam's twisted and brilliant vision of the future.
All right, sounds good.
So let's like start by setting the scene. Can you like paint us a picture of this world?
Okay, so picture a world where technology it's clunky and intrusive, paperwork is piled up to the ceiling, and like everything is controlled by this all-powerful but often incompetent bureaucracy.
Most delightful.
Yeah, not exactly a vacation spot. And right at the heart of this whole system is the Ministry of Information, the symbol of the state's control over every single aspect of life.
The Ministry of Information. Sounds helpful.
Let's just say their idea of help might not align with yours.
Okay, noted. So now, into this world walks Sam Lowry, our protagonist. So who is Sam?
So he's just this ordinary office worker who feels really unfulfilled. He's yearning for something more. But what's different about Sam is that he has an escape. His vivid, really fantastical dreams.
Oh, right, those dreams.
Yeah.
Sam as a winged warrior soaring above all that grime and oppression. It's like such a powerful image,
Yeah.
Contrasting his mundane reality with these crazy flights of fancy.
And the symbolism, it's so important. Like the winged warrior represents Sam's desire for freedom, his longing to break free from the confines of his reality. But it's interesting though, right? He can only experience this freedom in his dreams. That kind of suggests that true liberation might be an impossible goal in this world.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then things get really interesting when a simple bureaucratic error throws Sam's life into total chaos. We're talking about that that infamous Buttle-Tuttle mix-up.
Oh man, that mix-up. It's not just a plot device, right?
No. It's so much more.
It's more than that.
It's this brilliant way to show how even the smallest error in this system can have devastating consequences.
Right.
It highlights just how dehumanizing the bureaucracy is and how arbitrary justice is in this world.
I mean, it's like that domino effect, right?
It is.
One tiny mistake leads to tragedy, and it sends Sam further down this rabbit hole of just bureaucratic nightmares.
Exactly.
It's crazy. And through all this chaos that he meets Jill Layton.
Oh, Jill.
Right, this woman who just, like, embodies the spirit of his dream.
Yeah. Jill is so fascinating because she exists on, like, multiple
Oh,
levels.
interesting. Tell me more about that.
Like, on one hand, she's a real person, someone that Sam meets in his waking life, right?
Sure.
But she also represents, like, his ideal, his longing for connection and escape.
She's like a breath of fresh air in this, like, suffocating world.
Totally. But their connection, oh, it's dangerous. It puts Sam right on the radar of the Ministry of Information.
Uh-oh, not good.
And they're not exactly known for being, lenient.
No. And it's here, right, that we see the film's dark humor and satire really, like, kick into high gear.
Yeah.
Gilliam just uses absurdity to expose the flaws and the hypocrisies of the system.
Exactly.
And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, deeply unsettling.
Totally. Like, it's funny, but you're kind of laughing nervously.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, ha, this is terrifying.
Exactly.
Like that scene where Sam's just trying to fix his air conditioning.
Very good, yeah.
Like, it's such a mundane task, but it just explodes into this ridiculous, chaotic mess.
It's so true.
It's just the perfect metaphor for how even simple things are just made so difficult and frustrating by this, like, overbearing bureaucracy.
It's like, why does it have to be so hard to just fix the AC?
Right.
Well,
Or the scene in the restaurant where he's fighting to get a table through a wall.
I love that scene.
It's so over the top, so ridiculous, but it speaks volumes about, like, how dehumanizing this world is.
Oh, it really does. It's just, yeah,
Oh.
it's wild. Okay, well, this is a good place to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment to continue our deep dive into Terry Gilliam's Brazil.
It's wild, and it's not just the bureaucracy that's, like, suffocating in this world.
No. What else?
Well, Brazil also takes aim at consumerism and technology, showing how they can be used as tools of control and distraction.
Huh. How so?
Well, you see it in the film's obsession with cosmetic surgery.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Everyone is trying to achieve this artificial perfection.
Yeah.
They're constantly going under the knife just to fit into some, like, predetermined mold.
Oh, it's so true.
It's a really insightful critique of how consumerism creates this whole culture obsessed with just superficiality, where people are seeking, like, validation and acceptance through these external means rather than, like, inner fulfillment. It's all too familiar, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It makes you think about all the ways we're bombarded
Yeah.
with these messages about, like, how we should look and what we should buy
Totally.
and how we should live our lives. It's just like, it's everywhere.
It's like they're trying to tell us who we should be.
Exactly.
Oh, and the technology in Brazil isn't much better.
What do you mean?
Well, it's often unreliable and clunky.
Yeah.
It's more likely to, like, create chaos than to actually solve problems.
Totally. Just think about those pneumatic tubes.
Oh my God, yes.
Constantly malfunctioning.
Spewing paperwork everywhere.
Always. They never work right.
It's crazy.
I know. Those tubes are like the perfect example of how technology can trap people rather than liberate them, right?
Absolutely. And visually, they're just another element that adds to the film's overall sense of, like, claustrophobia and dysfunction.
Totally agree. So speaking of visuals, we have to talk about the film's unique aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, that blend of retro and futuristic elements creates a world that's both familiar and, like, deeply unsettling.
Oh, I know. I love how Gilliam called it retrofuturism. Like, it's this future that's stuck in the past,
Yeah. It's like looking into this warped mirror, Seeing these, like, echoes of our own world, but, like, distorted
Yeah.
and exaggerated in a way that makes us question our own assumptions about progress.
Exactly. Like, is this really what progress looks like?
I don't know.
And one of the most striking visual motifs is the ductwork.
Oh, the ductwork.
You see it everywhere. It's snaking through the apartments and the offices, even public spaces.
It's almost like another character in the film.
It is.
This oppressive network of, like, tubes and vents
Yeah.
that's just constantly reminding us of the systems that are, like, watching us,
Watching us, regulating our lives. It's a brilliant visual metaphor for, like, the suffocating nature of bureaucracy.
For sure. And it also reinforces this idea that, like, even in a seemingly advanced society, things aren't always what they appear to be.
Exactly. Like, beneath the surface of this technological progress, there's this sense of decay and dysfunction.
So true. And for Sam, like, the only escape from this suffocating reality is through his dreams.
It's his dreams.
And those dream sequences, I mean, they're visually stunning. They're filled with, like, symbolism and surreal imagery. What do you think? What stands out to you in those dreams?
Well, that recurring motif of Sam as this winged warrior, it's so powerful.
I know.
It represents like his yearning for freedom, his desire to like go beyond the limitations of his world. And I think this is important,
Yeah.
this freedom, he only has it in his dreams,
Right.
which kind of suggests that true liberation might just be impossible in this world.
That's a good point.
And then there's Jill.
Oh, yeah, Kat.
She appears in his dreams too.
She does.
Yeah, as this like ethereal, almost goddess-like figure.
Oh, wow.
And she represents like everything that's missing from his waking life, like the passion and the spontaneity and the sense of wonder,
She sounds amazing.
Oh, she is. And it's so fascinating how she exists in both realms,
What do you mean?
like the real and the imagined.
Oh,
So in Sam's waking life, she's this truck driver, a strong, independent woman who challenges like the status quo.
I like her already.
But then in his dreams, she transforms into this idealized figure,
Wow.
embodying all of his like deepest desires.
That's really cool.
And as the film goes on, the lines between like reality and fantasy, they start to blur.
Oh, sure.
And it's not just for Sam.
No.
It's for the audience too.
Oh, interesting. So, like, we're in on it, too.
We're in on it. Like we're constantly questioning what's real and what's not.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's one of the most brilliant things about Brazil,
What's that?
It plays with our perceptions. It mirrors Sam's own struggles to distinguish between like his dreams and his waking life. And it makes us complicit in his delusion.
Wow. I never thought of it like that before.
Right. And then that leads us to, the infamous ending.
The ending, yes.
It's one of the most debated endings in like sci-fi cinema history.
Oh, it is.
On the surface, it seems like Sam just escapes with Jill, They find happiness in this peaceful, like, countryside. But is it really that simple?
I mean, I don't think so.
Right.
Especially after what we've been talking about, right?
Well, let's, take a closer look. Do you remember those government agents, Jack Lind and Mr. Helpman?
Oh, yeah, I remember those guys.
Their presence at the end, it totally shatters the illusion of Sam's escape.
It's like a gut punch.
It is.
It just reveals that what we thought was this triumphant escape was actually all in Sam's head.
Exactly. The ending is saying that Sam's spirit, it's been broken by the system. He's retreated into a world of fantasy because he can't face the harsh reality of his situation.
Oh, sad.
And it leaves us with so many questions.
So many questions.
Like, what happened to Jill? Did she actually escape, or was she another casualty of the system? And what does it all mean?
It's tough.
It is.
I don't know. It's one of those endings that really makes you think,
That's the power of Brazil. It doesn't offer easy answers. It makes us wrestle with that ambiguity. The unsettling possibility that sometimes, the system wins.
That's a really scary thought.
Yeah.
It is a scary thought, but it's also what makes you, think about the film long after it's over.
Oh, for sure. It sticks with you.
Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into Brazil. We've been, exploring this really dark and twisted world that Terry Gilliam created.
Yeah.
It's a world that's both like a satire of our own and like a really chilling warning
It is.
about the dangers of just unchecked power,
Totally. And of course, we have to go back to that ending. I mean, come on.
The ending.
It's the kind of ending that just stays with you.
Yeah.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about the film.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical Hollywood happy ending. I mean, on the surface, it looks like Sam escapes with Jill into this beautiful, idyllic countryside.
Right.
But like we were talking about before, the presence of those government agents totally ruins that illusion.
It does. It's such a brilliant twist. It reveals that his escape was nothing more than a fantasy,
Yeah.
A way for him to cope with the trauma he's been through. His mind created this happy ending just to, shield him from the truth.
It's so heartbreaking, though. Sam, this character who's been fighting so hard for freedom, for his own individuality, he ends up trapped to his own delusion.
I know. It's so sad. And what makes it even more tragic is that, the film doesn't really tell us what happens to Jill. We see her for a second during Sam's, imagined escape, but, we don't know what happens to her in the end.
That's true. Did she manage to escape from the Ministry of Information?
Right.
Or did she also, become a victim of the system? It's a question that just, stays with you.
It does. I think the ambiguity is intentional, though. It forces us to confront this, uncomfortable truth that even in our own lives, there are no easy answers. There are no, guaranteed happy endings.
And that's what makes Brazil so powerful, it's more than just a dystopian thriller. It's like a reflection of our own anxieties about the world.
For sure. It makes you think about, like, the systems we live in
Yeah,
and the ways technology and consumerism, like, try to control us.
totally.
And it reminds us how important it is to fight for, like, our own individuality.
So true. It's a film that stays with you. It sparks conversation and debate.
It does.
And I think that's exactly what Terry Gilliam wanted,
I
right?
think so too. He wanted to challenge audiences, make them think critically about the world around them.
And I think he succeeded.
I think so too.
So we've, explored the themes, the symbolism, the visuals of Brazil. But now we want to hear from you.
Yeah. What do you think?
What are your thoughts on the film? Did the ending leave you feeling like devastated, hopeful, confused?
Maybe all of the above.
Share your interpretations.
Yeah.
What are your favorite scenes? Do you have any lingering questions?
Yeah. Let's keep talking about this. Let's explore the deeper meaning of this complex and thought-provoking masterpiece.
Because even decades after its release, Brazil still has so much to say about the world we live in.
It really does.
And that's it for this deep dive into Brazil. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.